This is a recording of a live stream that took place on Monday the 20th of October 2025. Unfortunately, it took place on the same day as an international outage, and so some of the recording is missing. We apologise for any inconvenience.
Good morning everyone and welcome to Transitions, exploring post-16 pathways with St Helens College, hosted by Thrive. It's fantastic to have you with us today, whether you're a young person thinking about your next steps, a parent or carer wanting to understand more, or a teacher or careers leader supporting transitions. Today's event is part of a social value project with St Helens Borough Council, delivered in partnership with Elevate, CJ Fownes Associates and Thrive. Together, we're working to create opportunities and raise aspirations for young people across the borough, especially those with diverse needs or who may be at risk of becoming NEET. This session is all about helping you feel informed, supported and inspired as you explore what comes next after school. You'll hear directly from staff and students at St Helens College, but first we have a short video introducing a little of what St Helens College is all about.
Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm Director of Curriculum here at St Helens College. We're really proud of our broad and wide-ranging curriculum offer here at St Helens College. We offer courses in business and IT, in creatives and professionals. We offer courses in construction and engineering, as well as health and social care and sport. And as well as that, we have our fantastic curriculum offer in inclusive learning and in foundation learning as well. So no matter what your starting point is, we really do have a course for you. With courses starting at entry level all the way up to level 3 and T levels and apprenticeships, all taught by fantastic industry expert teachers in our state-of-the-art facilities.
Unfortunately, due to the outage, the recording of the panellists introducing themselves was incomplete, and so we'll do a brief introduction and move on to the questions section. We have Nicola Waring, who's the Head of School Preparation for Work and Life, Marie Ellaby, who's the Deputy Head of School for Preparation for Life and looks after the NEET department, Maxine Kenrick, who's the NEET Key Worker Coordinator and Lecturer, and Denise Graham, who's the Deputy Head of School Inclusive Learning.
Okay, so we've now met our wonderful panel and we're going to ask them some of your questions. We've had quite a few sent in ahead of the event and we're going to get to those in just a moment. We're going to play a short film meeting some of the students from St Helens College.
As part of our work with St Helens College, we spent time on campus and were lucky enough to meet students from different pathways to learn more about their experiences. We began with the sensory and communication pathway, where we joined a class activity and met Sam, the student representative for the course, and Max. It was clear to see the programme helped students build confidence, communication skills, and independence in a supportive environment.
My name's Samuel.
And do you go to St Helens College?
Yes.
Yeah? And do you enjoy college?
Yes.
Do you come every day?
Not every day, I do Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Okay. And what's your favourite thing about coming to college?
To see my friends.
After having a chat with Sam, we met Max, who communicates through his tablet device.
A Benidorm? Me? No, I haven't been to Benidorm. Is it cold? Hot. Yeah, I've heard.
We also met students from the pre-internship visitor economy group, who are developing their workplace and life skills through hands-on experience, whilst also learning more about themselves, where they are and where they want to be.
Hello, I'm Fionn Slater. I'm working in a course in the pre-internship. My strongest areas would be art, music, and tech. My areas to develop would be confidence and handwriting.
My name's Harley. My strongest areas are working with computers, knowing stuff about dogs, and cooking. The areas I need to develop is my confidence in specific situations and my time management, and that's about it.
We're sure you'll agree, it's inspiring to see how each pathway at St Helens College helps students grow in confidence, develop new skills, and take positive steps towards their future.
What fantastic young people. Okay, I think it's time to get to some questions. So our first question that came in is, how does student life at St Helens differ from school? And Max, we'll come to you for that one, please.
Yeah. Okay, so predominantly you'll find it a more relaxed, mature environment. The staff are all approachable. We're all on first name terms. And we strive for an inclusive environment where young people can thrive and develop personally, emotionally, and obviously, most importantly, academically. A lot of our young people, if I was to ask them, what's so different about college from your time at school, they all say they have more freedom. I'm not sure, but that's what they say, is that and I think it's more of that adult, mature environment. So it is, obviously we have boundaries, but it's a little bit more relaxed than probably what school is.
More freedom to be themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. So our second question is going to go over to Marie, and it's, what kind of courses can young people choose from, and how do they find one that's right for them?
We've a multitude of courses across 4 campuses. You can choose from entry-level courses all the way through to level 5, level 6 courses. But for the purpose of today, we've got a range of courses from entry-level 2, 3 up until level 1. They include courses with vocational tasters, work experience, a variety of different hands-on things. You can find these courses on the college website, or alternatively, you could ring in, email in, and one of us would speak to you.
Brilliant, thank you. And Denise, could you explain what foundation programmes, supported internships and inclusive learning are, and who they're for?
So inclusive learning students are for all our SEND students, and the majority of students who are on them programmes have all got educational and healthcare plans. We offer from sensory right the way through to our supported internships. We have 2 pathways, which is life skills, which is all around your independent living and your social skills. And then we have our work skills pathway, which are for students who might just need that stepping stone from leaving school to progress then into further education, or for some students looking at our internship route, which they would then move on to our pre-intern and into supported interns. Our pre-interns and supported internship programmes are currently supported on our separate Thrive programme, which is with Premier Inn. So students have got the opportunity to go into live hotels and do housekeeping with the possibility of employment at the end. Our supported internship programme will also work closely with Amazon. So if anybody is interested in warehousing, then that's an option that we have there. And our whole focus around our work skills is the visitor economy.
Brilliant. I'm going to come straight back to you, Denise, there for a little bit more information about what support is available for students who have additional needs or who need that little bit of extra help to help them learn.
So in all our classes, we do have at least one learning support assistant to support with the tutor. If some students require one-to-one support, then that is also available. Students will also do either functional skills or GCSE, maths and English as part of our work skills programmes. And if anybody needs exam concessions, they will also be put into place. We can also look at any adaptive teaching methods that needed, as you've seen in the video. Some students rely on technology. We can apply for technology for them. So there's a variety of different support mechanisms that are available for all students, very much led by their EHCPs.
Brilliant, thank you. And for Nicola, how do you make sure that every student feels safe, included and respected at college?
So as you saw that Sam was our student rep in that previous video, every course within college has a student representative that enables the student voice to be heard. So, and that then goes on to meetings with heads of school, and that information can be taken further. And changes do happen from those meetings. So about sort of being respected and their voice being heard in the college, student voice is a major thing, and we do have those meetings regularly. With regards to feeling safe in college, we ask that all students and staff wear a lanyard when they're in college. So that is so we know that the right people are on site. Those their ID badges, because that is our big sort of safety part. We also have a designated safeguarding lead within college, so again, and a wellbeing team. So if students feel that they need to talk to somebody, we have that pastoral care as well available, as well as the personal development coaches or personal tutors, depending on what school that they're in. We do have a lot of cultural events and awareness days that are put on at the college. And we have an LGBTQ inclusion group as well, so that students can feel supported and safe within the space. If students require that space, we have that. And as a lot of our sites have quiet rooms, inclusive learning have sensory rooms that when you saw on that picture, but also other areas of the college have designated quiet spaces where students can go so that they can have that bit of quiet time to regulate themselves.
Brilliant, thank you. Could I ask a little bit more about you said about the mentors? What sort of role do they have within the college?
So again, depending on the department, so in inclusive learning and foundation learning, we have key workers, which work as a mentor for individual students and groups of students. They get to know that young person on a really deep level, and they also work closely with families as well. So they're the point of contact for those families that have got any questions, or if there's anything that we need. Also have that sort of role. They deliver our tutorials and again set those personal targets for those young people, and we'll have communication with home. And our wellbeing team provide that mentorship and that wellbeing support for students that need it as well.
Brilliant, thank you, Nicola. So we've answered some of the sessions that have come in, and what we're going to do now is share a short video with you about Charlie. Remember, it's not too late to submit any live questions. If you thought of something, please pop that in the chat. But for now, here is Charlie's story.
Hi, my name is Charlie McCormick and I'm studying catering level 3. I first started at St Helens in September of 2022. Before I came to catering, I started with doing a special education needs course called Skills for Further Learning and Employment level 1. And then after that I progressed on to catering level 1 and eventually level 2, and now I'm on level 3. Before I came to St Helens College, I studied at Mill Green Sports College, and I found out that I didn't really think I could progress if I ever stayed in that college, because they didn't offer things like GCSEs, so I wanted to come to this college to study the GCSEs. I'd say it's meeting all the friendly staff and all the friendly people. It's just nice to work with them every single day. I felt very supported, yeah. If I ever need help, I can always ask a staff member or even a fellow student if they might know the solution to the problem. For what I'd like to do next, I'd either like to get a job or get an apprenticeship. I'd say think about what you like doing the most and relate that to a course that you think would be quite close to what you like doing. Don't just waste time staying at home. Go to college, learn a trade. I'd say it's been a journey. It's been very difficult at times, but I've been pushed to my very hardest and learned a lot from where I was in 2022. Learned more confidence skills, learned more about public transport and how to get to college by yourself. And my confidence has just been growing and growing every single year.
Oh, fantastic. What an inspiring young man. It's so great to hear his story. And he practically sells the college for you there, Nicola. Could you give us a little bit more information about Charlie?
Yeah, so like Charlie said, he came to Inclusive Learning in 2022. So we worked with Mill Green, which was his feeder school, which is a special school in St Helens. We did some transition work with the school so the students can come to us, have a look around the department. We get to know them and they get to know us before they break up for that summer break. And that's when we met Charlie. So, like he said, when he was at school, he didn't study GCSEs. So that really limited where he could go to when he came into college. But in inclusive learning, he did his level 1 employability course with us, and he also did GCSEs and functional skills. So actually, on the first year with us, Charlie did functional skills level 1 in English and maths, and then he progressed on to his GCSEs. And now Charlie has got a grade 5 and grade 6 in his English and maths GCSEs, which is absolutely fantastic. There's quite a few times that I saw Charlie just studying on the corridor near inclusive learning because it's nice and quiet, and I'd ask him. So he was on his catering course, but he would come down and study in our quiet area. And I'd ask him what he was doing. He's like, no, I'm doing my revision now. He said it's easier and quieter in college to do it. He still always comes down now and says hello to us. And he's a real inspiration for our students. So again, he comes to talk to our students about what it's like once you transfer to another course from inclusive learning. And it is a real success story. He's grown so much in his confidence. And I think it was last week, our catering students were actually catering for a VIP dinner within Liverpool. And Charlie was one of those students that was doing that. So our catering students cooked and our hospitality students served at that dinner. So they get some real life experience within that college environment, and then going out and putting those skills into practice in the community.
Wow. Thank you, Nicola. Just coming back to the bit you said about supporting the transitions, and this is open to sort of any of the panel members. One of the biggest sort of changes for many students is going from that school environment to college. What sort of provision is there for transitions, and how are the family and the young person supported to make that transition? I'm happy for sort of anyone to step in, unless Nicola, you want to.
Can I
Brilliant,
answer?
thank you.
Yeah,
We'll come to you in a minute, Denise. Yeah.
And Denise can talk about it for inclusive learning. So across college, for our students, the college put on events. throughout the academic year. So we had our first open evening last week for St. We also have inclusive learning events. We talk about developing a transition pathway. So if that young person is, say, looking at going into...
Oh dear, I think the gremlin is back with Nicola there. Thank you, Nicola. Denise.
Yes, so as Nicola's just explained, then we do have our open evenings.
Do you want to?
So we have 3 in the year where anybody can come in. You don't need an appointment. So you can come down, you can have a look around, you can speak to the staff. But as part of transition within inclusive learning, we have our own sort of school liaison. So at the minute, I've started the cycle of going into the schools, doing assemblies, careers open nights, any open evenings, meeting the parents of any potential students. We've started doing that with years 9, 10 and 11, and obviously some post-16 if our SEND feeder schools have got sixth forms. And then a little bit later in the year, we will host a transition evening where we invite parents and young people in to meet all of the teaching staff. And we actually do some assessments on that evening. And the parents will stay with Nicola and myself. We will provide some more information as to the structure of the programmes that are available in inclusive learning. And then once all our students finish in June. So for them first 2 weeks of July, we will then organise some more transition days where students will come in from their feeder schools and spend some more time where we will do a bit more getting to know you sort of activities and initial assessments on them.
Brilliant. And when you say initial assessments, Denise, what are those sort of assessments that you...
So some of the initial assessments that we will do, we will look at what their communication skills are, how they prefer to be taught, what their social skills are, whether, and try and work out what level they might actually be. Because sometimes the black and white version of the person is not always the person that stood in front of you. So we need to make sure that we get the students onto the right course and working with the right people. Because sometimes this year, for example, we've got more than one level 1 class. So we need to make sure that we've got the students who socially are mixing with the right students in them classes, as well as the academia side as well.
Brilliant, thank you. When you talk about the classes, what sort of sizes are your classes? How many students would you have roughly in a class?
So our sensory students are typically no more than 4 in a class. But any of our other classes are anywhere between 7 and 11. And that would include a tutor and then, as I said earlier on, a learning assistant and or one-to-ones as well.
Brilliant. So
still very small classes, yeah.
Very small groups for the young people.
Yeah, very small groups.
And Max, could you talk to us about what help students can get if they're feeling worried or anxious or unsure about starting college?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot, I don't want to overlap on what Nicholas said and Denise, but a lot of that is in the transition bit and the initial interview. Within foundation learning, I feel we do this on a really personal level where we meet the young person, whether that be in the school environment or inviting them into college. And it's key just to listen to that young person and listen about whatever the barriers have been at school. If they've not been to school, they've been having issues, just listening and really getting to know them and parents and carers and building up that professional relationship. And just talking through what their concerns may be. Obviously within foundation learning, I know it's been touched upon that they do have a key worker who is assigned a caseload of students who will, be there for that person more on a personal and social level. So we can do that through transition meetings, bringing that young person into college as many times that's needed. letting them sit into a class and get a feel of what the course is going to be like, or just coming in and meeting that key worker again, having a face that they know and someone that they can talk to prior to coming into college. And plus, we key workers all have a mobile. So we give that young person our mobile numbers, because sometimes a young person doesn't want to speak. We find that a lot with males, so they tend to text if they've got any worries or concerns, and we do it that way until they get that relationship where, you know, it's a trusting relationship. So we find that works. We meet them on day one in the college reception, so they're not walking into the college foyer without seeing a face that they know. So we're there, we meet them, we bring them up to class, and yeah, we're just there throughout the educational journey from start to finish. And we'd like to think that, you know, we put any worries, you know, at ease, and, you know, we look at them as an individual.
Brilliant, thank you. And we'll come to Marie next. So how do the tutors and staff work with parents and carers to support the young people?
Again, without sort of going over what everybody else has said, this starts at transition. It starts in the last year of school or maybe the year before. We'll work with the parents, the teachers, social workers, any external agencies that are working with the young person, and we will continue that once they're in college. We have regular parents' evenings, we have regular reviews at least every 6-8 weeks. We call home, we text home. We're just in the process of developing a postcard to send a postcard home, because many young people that we work with have never had positive comments regarding how they're doing well at college, and it's nice to get that sort of recognition from the parents or the carers. So that's something we're going to introduce after half term. We're just getting the postcard ready. We have regular meetings, and we sometimes have multi-agency meetings by working together with external agencies to make sure the support's spot on for that young person coming into college.
Brilliant, thank you, Marie. And coming over to you, Nicola, you sort of touched a little bit about the work experience and the live work opportunities. Could you talk to us a little bit more about your work experience, the volunteering and that preparation for jobs?
Yeah, so again, in inclusive learning, we have a variety of work experience and work opportunities. So that might be working within areas of the college. So last academic year, we had students working in our on-site Starbucks, and we also had students working within our print rooms. We've had students previously working within the college libraries, and also the hair and beauty reception area as well. So there are internal opportunities for work experience. Some of our students go off-site. We have, for the last 2 years, had work experience opportunities with Knowsley Safari Park. So the students go to the safari park for 6 weeks, and they look at a variety of job roles within that sector. So not only working with the animals and creating enrichment for the animals, but also working within the shop, doing some maintenance of the area as well. So they get to look at that whole sort of visitor economy and what would be involved in working and the different job roles available within the safari park. Like Denise previously said, we work with Whitbread Premier Inn to give our students on our pre-internship and our internship opportunities for work experience and work visits to Premier Inn hotels in the local area, so that they can see how the housekeeping side of the hotel works. With regards to other work experience and getting ready for that work and job role, we do things like vocational visits. So we look at visiting other areas of the college that students are interested in. So students can go over to our farm on our animal care, and they look at what it would be to be involved in that area and jobs within that area they go over to construction. We bring in a construction simulator, which it looks at it's using the machinery on a construction site, so the students can get a feel to see if that's a job that they would like in the future. We use a lot of VR as well, so we use VR headsets that Liverpool City region have, and that they have a variety of work experience opportunities in there, from working with engineering and the safari park to looking at more customer service facing roles as well. So we try to do a lot of different work experience opportunities, whether that's going off site and experiencing work there, or whether that's bringing visitors and other opportunities within the college. Previously, students have taken on a work experience, an online work experience, to look at catering and what that involves, and the different job roles that are involved in catering and hospitality as well. So that was a live online event that students took part in.
Fantastic. And just to pick up on a question that we're having from a parent, Nicola, what sort of level of support is there for the young people going out on work experience? And I think a lot of people seem to think of the year 10 work experience where it's 2 weeks and off you go and find yourself something. How is it different at St Helens? What support do they get for identifying their area of interest? What support to access the work experience do they have?
Yeah, so we take part in a vocational profile. So students at the beginning of the academic year create a vocational profile that we look at throughout that academic year. So that identifies the strengths and areas for improvement, but also what areas that young person's interested in. So once we've got that, we then start working on opportunities for them to have that realistic work environment, or to actually go out on work experience. So young people who go out on work experience, if they are part of our pre-internship and our internship provision, they will have a job coach that goes out and supports them within the workplace. So that could be initially going out every day with them and supporting them, and then that support sort of reduces once they get used to the that job that they're taking part in, and then the job coach might go out maybe once or twice a week to see them and support them in anything new that they're learning. Students that are on a work experience again can be supported by our learning support assistants if that's required. Sometimes we do group work experience as well. So Knowsley Safari Park is a group work experience. So a group of 10 students can go to the safari park, and then they will have their tutor, possibly 2 LSAs with them as well, and the Knowsley Safari Park staff that take part in that work experience. So the support levels we provide are to meet the needs of those young people, and we would always have conversations beforehand about what support levels they need before they go out.
Fantastic. I think that probably puts a lot of parents' minds at rest. It seems very well supported and very much based on interests and as they change, looking at, if they want to try something new.
Definitely.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you. So, Max, coming to you, if you're able to hear me, thinking about next steps after young people have finished their course, the next big transition, I suppose. How does the college help students plan their next step and begin to think about that next transition into the next stage of their life?
Okay, so this is a process that starts from the interview, understanding the learner's starting points and their aspirations. This is revisited throughout their stay with us on the programme. So each learner has points of reviews throughout the year. So we'd look back at that, and we're looking, and obviously in class, in tutorials, we're looking at different job roles and where their personal aspirations would take them, what's involved, what do they need, regarding their GCSE results. so that they know what they're needing to get on to the next course, to get them to where they want to be. The key worker in foundation learning would help that young person to do the application process, whether that's taking them across to meet the area of their choice. A placement vocational taster as well would be an option. And then making sure that the interview's in place, and just making sure that each of our young people have the right information, advice and guidance for that career option that they're going into. Making sure it's the right choice for them. And just making sure that everything just runs smoothly for them.
Fantastic, thank you. Just while we're on this section here, we've had a question in from a parent, David. He's put that it was great to hear Charlie's success story. Is there another story that you could share with us about how you've helped a young person to overcome a specific challenge? He's put names not necessary, of course, but is there another story any comes to mind for any of you? Thank you, Denise.
So I've got a couple actually. So we had a student who came to inclusive learning who unfortunately didn't get the grades they thought they were going to get onto construction. So came to us in inclusive learning, got their functional skills, got onto the construction course, but then realised that it really wasn't for him. So then came back to us and went on to our internship programme. They had previously been trying to get employment in the local hospital because that's where his mum works, and had been unsuccessful at every single try. But he went out onto placement in Amazon and was working there with our job coach, was there for a few months, and then was still applying and actually got employment in the local hospital, and has recently just got an award for Employee of the Year, which was a really good success story for that particular student. And another student has actually been in our mainstream, had an EHCP, went down the media route, done his BTEC right the way up to level 3. And then unfortunately the course that he wanted after that was a course that we didn't offer, and he didn't want to move out of the area. So he came onto our internship programme. He was on placement with the SEND caseworkers who were responsible for pulling together all their EHCPs, and he has been successful in gaining an apprenticeship now and is currently employed with the local council.
Wow, that's fantastic. So very successful cases where the young people have gone on to gain employment as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And did anybody else want to add anything in at that point? Unless the gremlins have got you. Thank you. So we'll come to Marie there. So thinking about the young people and they're thinking about joining college, I think we've had lots of positive examples of everything that the college does today. What advice would you give to a young person or their family when they're thinking about joining St Helens College?
I think if this is the college that you want your young person or child to come to, please get in touch and speak to one of the vocational areas, speak to foundation learning or inclusive learning, and we can arrange for you to come in, have a look around, meet the staff, have a look at some of the lessons going on. It's really a great place to be. We're right in the town centre for the St Helens campus. We have a campus in Knowsley and another one not too far away where we do all the construction things. And we have another campus over 10-minute walk where we do construction, animal care and all of those different courses. And we can accommodate visits to any of those places if you get in touch with those areas. It's a really great place to come to, multiple opportunities for progression and for further study. You'll be supported academically, emotionally, socially. It really is a great place to be. I've been here 25 years, as has a lot of people, so it's certainly the place to come.
Fantastic. And what age can they come to you up until, Marie?
On foundation learning, we take 16 to 18-year-olds. You've got to be 16 by the 31st of August of the year that you're starting, and we'll do a full transition with you from the year before, or even sometimes we go into year 10 to let you know that I don't think we touched on this earlier, that should you not quite get the qualifications that you need, don't worry, St Helens College does have a programme for you, and that would be foundation learning, where we would support you to get your English and maths on a level 1 course in employability skills, and we'll work with you to develop those skills going forward. There's always something here at St Helens College to accept young people on the rest of the journey.
Brilliant. So if they don't get the qualifications or the grades they wanted, they can sort of do a next stepping stone and then build up towards the pathway they were choosing?
Yeah, that's why we're sort of rebranded as foundation learning, because it is the foundation course to move on to that vocational area. So we'll help develop the skills, the knowledge and the behaviours that potentially you've not got when you've left school. So it's a really good stepping stone into that vocational area, and possibly a level 2 course the year after, as opposed to moving to a level 1 where you can also revisit your maths and English and get those grades a little bit higher.
Brilliant, thank you. Is there anything from the panellists that you would like to add at this point before we sort of start to wrap up the questions? Yes, Nicola.
It was just really to let people know that we have our open evenings for the college. So we've just had one open evening for St Helens, but our next one is, I'm just checking, is the 26th of 26th of November. So that means that the college will be open and we'll showcase all of our vocational areas, inclusive learning as well. So the staff will be on site to be able to answer any questions that you have with regards to the courses that maybe your young person or you are interested in doing. So it's really useful to come along to one of those evenings so that you get a feel not only of the college but also of that vocational area that you might be applying for. And then once they've made that decision, it is that you can apply online. So we're getting applications now for next academic year. So that process is open. If you have got an EHCP, we recommend that you get your application in ideally before the end of March, so that we can have formal consultation on EHCPs and be able to say that we can meet needs and we can put those the offers in place and then start that transition. So applications are open now if you're looking at coming to us in 26-27.
Brilliant. And Nicola, just about that open day, where would people find more information, and do they need to book a spot? I know some colleges book through Eventbrite or different platforms.
So you don't need to book a slot. The dates for all of our open evenings and the timings for them are on the college website. They are also on every railing and sort of billboard around St Helens and around the college. But the easiest thing is to look on the college website. You'll get an idea then of the course that you're interested in. You can get your entrance criteria for the course that you're interested in, but also the dates for those transition events and those open evenings that we've got planned.
Brilliant, thank you. And did anybody else have anything to add at that point? I think we've covered pretty much everything St Helens College this morning. Fantastic. So thank you to everyone for joining us today, and a huge thank you to our panel. I know we've had some gremlins in the system, but I think we've heard lots of information about the different levels of courses and the support that's available at St Helens. I would absolutely love to visit. So the animal care and all of the different facilities, real life working environments, which is absolutely fantastic for our young people. So thank you for sharing your time, knowledge and experience with us this morning. We hope today's event has helped young people and their families feel more confident about the range of post-16 options available, the support that's out there as well to help every young person find their pathway. Before we finish, we'd like to remind you that this event forms part of the wider social value project with St Helens Borough Council, and it is a partnership between Elevate, CJ Founders Associations and Thrive. And as part of this project, all young people in the St Helens Borough who are in Year 7 and above and have additional needs have been given a free licence to access the Thrive platform, which is a unique platform and it's AI powered, and it helps young people to explore careers for people, for young people with a wide range of diverse needs. Access is usually through the school or learning provider, but it's also available to home educated young people, and we can arrange access to that separately. If anyone would like any more information about accessing that or would like to hear any more about Thrive, you can visit our website or email us at hello@thrivecic.org. We will be sending out a post-event email to all attendees to share further details about St Helens College and Thrive, so look out for that in your inbox. And thank you again today for being part of today's event, and we look forward to supporting everyone on their next steps. Thank you very much to Nicola, Marie, Max and Denise. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know more about St Helens College this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.